amazing community. First off, I see Resident Alien is here. Thanks for tuning in, as is Mr. A. Thank you for being here. Christy Carr joining us. Good to see you this evening. Very much appreciated. Exiled Opinions is here. How you doing, Frank? Good to see you tonight. Nate D tuning in. Good to see you, Nate D. Glad you could be here this evening. Deranged Lunatic is in the chat. Good to see you, Deranged Lunatic. Glad you could be here tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you for tuning in. Who else we got hanging out here? Rosetta Allen. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Chuck's Nutsack. I hope I'm saying that right.
I was trying to figure it out earlier.
I like that. Who else we got in here? Sebastian Nocturne is tuning in, as is David Morris. Thank you, David Morris. Good to see you tonight. Saint 10 Alien Nation. Good to see you, Saint 10. Glad you could be here this evening with us. Who else we got? Milton Knowles is here. Good to see you, Milton Knowles. Glad you could tune in. Glad you could be here this evening. Let me see who else we got hanging out in the chat tonight. Just scrolling down a bit. Joel Phelan is here. Good to see you, Joel Phelan. Heather Bell is here, too. Good to see you. Mr. Drix. Mr. Drix. Evening to you. Good evening. Glad you could tune in tonight. Deranged Lunatic with a super chat. Started out early. Thank you, Deranged Lunatic, for $2. Much appreciated. Pete, is there going to be any probing tonight? Well, we're going to probe deep into the UFO question. But nobody's going to be probed in the sense that you're talking about, hopefully. Hopefully none of that probing is going to be going on. Because that probing is not pleasant, from what I hear, from many a UFO tale. Pirate Radio is here. Good to see you, Pirate Radio. Thanks for being here. Cryptid559, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Little Bougie Witch, how you doing tonight? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Who else we got hanging out tonight? Ginger. Viking. Jesus! Ginger Viking Jesus. Yo, what's up to you? How you doing tonight? Good to see you here. Glad you could be here with us tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much for being here. Who else we got hanging out tonight? Let me scroll down here a bit. Just scrolling down a bit. Scrolling down some more. Brett Learmouth. Glad to see you, Brett Learmouth. Transcendent Cthulhu of Relay rising from the depths. Pyramid 7 is here. Good to see you, Pyramid 7, as Dash Fat Bastard makes his way in. Hi, Dash. Good to see you. Glad you could be here with us tonight. Joe Rag, Soft 6, glad you could be here with us. Been a minute. Good to see you. Lord Solar is here. Thanks for tuning in, Lord Solar. Much appreciated. Glad you could be here with us. Glad you could be here with us. Jesse Patrick is here. Good to see you, Jesse Patrick. Glad you could tune in tonight. Yeah, we do it. Somebody's name is Nutsack in here. Chuck's Nutsack. Jesse Patrick with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Jesse. Very much appreciated. Very generous of you. Jesse Patrick says, Nut Dragon. You good old Nut Dragon, everybody. The mascot, the unofficial mascot of High Springs. This is the Nut Dragon, inspired by Golden Egg Training, or Iron Egg Training, if that's your thing. Adamski's here. Good to see you, Adamski. Glad you could be here with us tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We got about 32 people watching. If you could, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Appreciate it so much. Now, before we begin, oh, Biden dirty. I came from a UFO. Well, you know what? That kind of stuff happens. Sometimes people come from UFOs. Before we begin, I do want to take a moment.
Did he say
from a Now, before we begin, I want to take a moment to mention our sponsor, and that's My Patriot Supply. Now, here's the thing, everybody. Emergencies strike without warning. We find ourselves surprised if the power goes out or gets turned off. Or what if the stock market were to crash tomorrow? Certainly, with an earthquake, there is zero warning. Things happen you just don't expect. When it's breaking news, it's too late to prepare. Now you're in a panic scramble. You should act now while things are calm. Ask yourself, could you feed yourself for several weeks with the food you have at home this very moment? If not, it's time to build an emergency food supply. I trust and use My Patriot Supply, and you should consider it. Started. This week, save $70 on these food kits when you go to my special website, preparewithpeter.com. These food kits include meals that last up to 25 years in storage, and they arrive fast with guaranteed due-day delivery to your door. Those that know what's coming should use it today to prepare. So go to preparewithpeter.com. That's preparewithpeter.com for a special offer only for viewers of Creepy Little Book and listeners of High Strangeness. You can find a link to that in the description below this video. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. I do appreciate you giving me a moment to shill for our sponsor. And I'll tell you what, I totally believe in this product. I would not work with them if I did not. So consider it, everybody. It's pretty good. Jesse has been our guinea pig. He tried a lot of the food, and he reported back that it was tasty and filling.
Yes. And it was better than I thought. It was like heartier.
And that's exactly what you need in a shit hits the fan scenario, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So get prepared. What if the aliens were to show up?
Then you fuck them in the ass with a pitchfork. With
So-
torches and a mob.
You take out their flagship, you send their ass packing, and then you sit down, you have yourself a nice little energy drink and a packet of chocolate pudding.
Just give him a cow.
That's what I'm saying.
Just give them a cow. That's all I wanted.
And the last ones that don't leave, pick up the pail full of food and feed them with it. And
That's
then,
right.
you know, have yourself some good stew for a few days. Like, you're gonna be alright for a little bit. But no, all jokes aside, like, that is good stuff to have around.
Yeah, like, it's been snowing like a bastard on and off here. Like, what happens
Really?
if something happens? Yeah.
Wow.
It's like real stuff does happen. Bad
Wow.
Well, it's
weather.
simple shit too. Windstorms, crap like that, it'll knock everything right out. Everybody has rotten stuff in their fridge. It's no good.
We have hurricanes, so... Florida.
On the other hand, if you have a little camping stove and some water, you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's right. A can of sterno can boil water, folks.
It's
A can of sterno.
Like, get that bug out bag together.
No, I like that. It's like if you could get your hands on things like you know, some butter or milk, that would be awesome to just doctor it up a little bit. But all you really need is water, and which is good because water you just have to make a little filter, which is super easy to do. Then you're good to go. All you need is some sand and gravel, a little sifter, put it in different layers, run it through a few times, boil it, then use it.
Well, My Patriot Supply has a large variety of water filtration products for your needs. So it's not just emergency food, it's also emergency supplies, folks. So definitely check out My Patriot Supply. It's good stuff.
You know where else I think that would be handy on? Like if you did a lot of RVing.
A lot of
get
partying?
RV. Yeah, bring it, keep that, on stock. Because you never know, you're out camping somewhere and maybe you pulled into a campsite too late and none of the stores are open, She got that to hold you over.
That's a good point, Tina. Very good point.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into tonight's topic, everybody. Since we're a little late here getting started and we're almost 10 minutes into the stream, let's talk about some aliens and UFO encounters. And I want to talk about one of the earliest UFO sightings. In fact, one of the first documented UFO sightings in America. And it dates back to the year 1639. When a Massachusetts Bay Colony co-founder, Governor John Winthrop, recorded a secondhand observation of unidentified objects in the sky over Boston. In his diary entry of March 1st that year, Winthrop wrote that a sober, discreet man named James Everell was rowing a boat up the muddy river at night when he saw a great light in the sky. Winthrop reports that when it stood still, it flamed up and was about 3 yards square. When it ran, it was contracted into the figure of a swine. It ran as swift as an arrow towards Charlestown, and so up and down about 2 or 3 hours. By the time the lights moved away, Everell and his boatmates had been delivered 1 mile upstream, though they had no memory of how. So this is
I love how they have to,
some missing time.
I love how they have to add in there that they was a sober, what did they say at the beginning? A sober man?
And discreet man.
Yes.
Well, it's like the old Simpsons episode when Homer encounters the aliens and they spray him with rum so nobody will believe his story.
Here it is.
See that?
Did you see that? It was when Bull was running against Clinton.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Spray you with rum so no one will believe your story.
It probably worked.
That's the worst to do.
So they dropped
Did
him
you-
back in his boat.
Yeah, it's funny.
You say,
These guys lost time. And
Yeah.
when you find missing time like that, that's usually because you've been abducted. So it's very possible these people were the victims of an alien abduction as early as 1639. And who knows how long alien abduction's been going on. of missing time is intricately tied into these UFO encounters, going all the way back to Betty and Barney Hill, who are on the books the first victims of UFO abduction. But I really suggest that this particular site, made by a so-called street named James Everell, was a case of missing time, which to me indicates that he was probably taken, probably examined.
That'd be freaky.
They found themselves carried quite back against the tide to the place they came from. And diverse other credible persons saw the same light after about the same place. Muddy River is located in Back Bay Fens opposite Cambridge, Massachusetts, and diagonally across from Charlestown. Back Bay wasn't filled in at the time, and a large area of open water existed in the river. It was then called Broad Bay. The distance to Charlestown would have been more than 2 miles. Now, James Savage added the following footnote about the sighting in his early edition of the Winthrop Journal in 1825. The account of an ignis fatuus, pale light over marshy ground, may easily be believed on testimony less respectable than which was adduced, some operation of the devil or other power beyond the customary agents of nature. It was probably imagined by the relators and hearings of that age, and the wonder of being carried a mile against the tide became important corroboration of the imagination. Perhaps they were carried lightly during the 2 or 3 hours' astonishment for so moderate a distance by the wind, but if this suggestion be rejected, we might suppose that the eddy, blowing always in our rivers, contrary to the tide in the channels, rather than a meteor, carried their lighter back. Being objective about the sighting, the Charles River, prior to being dammed, had great tidal flow and would drain much of Back Bay each day and then replenish it. Muddy River likely had a large volume of fresh water flowing through it in 1639, but it is unlikely that a great eddy existed near its mouth. Thus, it is unusual for witnesses to assert they were unmoved by tidal flow in a small boat for more than 2 hours. Witnesses also stated that the lights contracted into the shape of a swine. Muddy River, the hamlet, eventually became the separate town of Brookline. Pigs and other cattle were stored during the summer while corn was growing in Boston. It is safe to deduce that the UFO witness had seen or heard swine on the same day they observed the great light. Thus, the lights resembled a common animal, making it probable they saw ignis fatuus mirage phenomenon in the darkness. In any case, the event was observed by many people and noteworthy enough for the Puritan governor to document it in his private journal. In 1644, the first USO sighting, USO, unidentified submerged object, occurred over Boston Harbor, and then a major UFO sighting took place in New Haven, Connecticut in 1647.
It's right down the street.
Really?
That's where Rob is.
Wow.
Should tell him to go check it out.
Where is it exactly? On the corner of this building and that building. Not there anymore.
Now let's talk about another more modern UFO sighting. These are the lights above the Jersey Turnpike. This happened in 2001. Now it takes a lot for motorists to stop alongside a highway just to look at the sky. But on July 14, 2001, drivers on the New Jersey Turnpike did just that. For around 15 minutes just after midnight, they marveled at the sight of strange orange and yellow lights in a V formation over the Arthur Kill waterway between Staten Island, New York and Carteret, New Jersey. Carteret Police Department Lieutenant Daniel Taran was one of the witnesses, as well as other metro area residents from Bronx Neck Bridge on Long Island and Fort Lee, New Jersey near the George Washington Bridge. Air traffic controllers initially denied that any airplanes, military jets, or space flights caused the mysterious lights, but a group known as the New York Strange Phenomenon Investigators claimed to receive FAA radar data that corroborated the UFO sightings from that area. Now, what's a real shame is that people didn't have cameras on their phones back in 2000. It's definitely strange sight over New Jersey too.
I just think it's great that there's a group of dudes just like hanging out watching these things, paying attention.
Well, you know what? They've been UFOologists for a very long time.
Hey, some people pull, some people want to look for alien life. I like it.
There really only is
years, nobody's been if you find an alien, we're gonna care.
and the people are very passionate. It's something to watch. It's very interesting. It is really the ultimate secret. You know, it's the ultimate secret.
Do you think the aliens get back to the ship and they're like, shit? I don't think they want us to see it at all. I think that we're a genetically engineered slave race and that we failed because we make terrible slaves. And I think that they just left us to like do these like shit monkeys to themselves. And you know, hopefully they never notice us. I think we're like dog people to them or something. To the lesser crab beings.
Or we could be paying no, species has later once it gets its shit together.
Well, that's just the thing. I think that's why they would leave us alone, precisely because of our potential for unpredictability.
Like, yeah, for as moronic as most human beings are as a species, we are pretty adaptable.
Well, we're really crazy shit.
Yeah, like no other.
Access granted. Your assigned landing pad is number 30.
Scan detected.
Ship destruction.
Landing gear deployed.
Solid contact. Dispatching ground.